All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Aligning with Success. It's been I guess we missed last week's call because of, I think it was preempted by the kickoff call, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be off 1 week. I've lost track. Anyways, welcome back. Something knocked us out last week. There was an event. That's right. It was the training for some social media, which ended up being more of a promotion or commercial for signing up in a social media course. I should have known better. But anyways, speaking of social media, Barb Richmond, you're here. She shared that she had been doing something that was actually creating some attention. I would like to know, Barb, if you wouldn't mind sharing with everybody what it is that you're doing, what you've learned to do, and what's happening since you've been doing that. How's that working out for you?
Well, I'm learning how to post differently on social media so that it doesn't come across like an ad. I've watched a number of master classes. I've taken some courses before that I didn't resonate with at all and didn't get any results. But this one was, when you sit down and you watch a television program and the ads come on, everybody ignores the ads. Well, it's the same on Facebook. If you're being inundated all the time by ads for product, ads for business, people stop watching you. So if you can post something about a product or about your business that doesn't directly talk about the product by name or the company by name, or your business again, what it has done for you, why you decided to register for the business in the first place, the benefits that you have achieved from the business, it creates curiosity and people ask questions. So in the process of asking questions, and that's often through private messenger, you build a relationship with them. So you may be days communicating with the same people periodically through the day, or it may only be one or two connections, and they'll ask you outright, what was it that you were talking about in such and such a post? And so you share the information with them.
Okay, I need you to pause for a second. We'll come back to that. So you share the information. So let's rewind for a second. What have you posted and where?
It's all been on Facebook.
Okay.
And it has all been on my personal profile.
Okay.
None of it has been on my business page because, and the reasoning behind that, Facebook, unless you have in excess of 2,000 friends, Facebook doesn't put your post out to very many people. And of course, you end up paying for a lot of the posts and you're not getting traction on them.
Now, when you say paying, so are you promoting these posts? Can you actually promote a post on your personal webpage or your personal Facebook page?
Well, you are actually promoting your business and your product.
The technical word for promoting in Facebook language is when you're actually paying to push something out to boost it.
Nothing. I'm paying nothing on my profile.
Okay, so you're doing a personal profile post, a post on your personal profile page.
Correct.
And that's actually getting to people that you don't know?
Exactly. Because when I started out, I haven't been on Facebook, haven't used it all that much, but I have been registered on it for a few years. So when I started learning this new way, I had 489 friends, and I'm 1,260 something now. Now, I made a mistake initially, the first couple of posts I put out, because I had it going out to public. And when it was going out to public, I was getting, what's the word, fished. People were trolling. and I had to shut some of the people down. But I learned something very valuable. When I have a friend request, because I discovered some people weren't who they said they were in their friend request. So I figured something out. If it's an elderly woman and she's maybe got one or two, not many friends in her profile, I look at everybody's personal profile before I accept a friend request. If they haven't posted anything in 2020 and recently in 2020, I don't accept their friend request because there's a good chance their account's been hacked and somebody else is using it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a lot of women, my generation, my age and older, are asking for friend requests. And if they have something on their page and you say, oh, well, I'll give them a chance, they're coming on with this promotion from the States, this health. They're giving you money. They may give you $350,000. My friend got $75,000. All you have to do is have you got yours yet? Or have you heard the good news? And another one is Publishers Clearinghouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been bombarded with those. And I just say back to them, I've received many invitations. I'm not interested. I believe it to be a scam. I wish you the very best of luck and I hope you don't get hurt. But please do not contact me again. And then
Okay,
I delete
let
them.
me keep the bandwidth on this conversation narrow.
Yeah.
Right
But
now we're on a
that's how you
tangent.
control it.
Okay, I'm not looking for how to handle trolls on Facebook and so forth. I'm just talking about when you posted on your personal page, you are somehow now engaging an audience outside of your friends' audience, and you said don't post. You just said something about not posting public. So did this post that you put on, are these non-public posts? If they're non-public,
they're just to friends. So when
okay.
when those posts go out to my friends, it also goes probably to their friends.
It does, yeah.
So I mean, 489 to 1260, and that's not over a long period of time. But another key for Facebook to keep pushing your posts out is when people respond to your post, you reply to each and every one of those people.
So when they like your post, you mean?
If they like your post or they love your post or they comment on your post, you respond to every single one of them.
Now, are you responding in the comments section of the post? If somebody clicks like, how are you responding to that person?
Well, when I go in to check my post, I can see how many likes, how many.
And if somebody clicks like, as I asked, how do you respond?
Well, then, when you click on like, you'll get a list of everybody that has clicked like.
Yes.
And beside that, their name is message. So you click on message.
Okay, so you're private messaging them.
Yes, sometimes it's private message. If they comment.
Yes, that one question at a time.
That directly.
One question at a time. Okay, so if they like, you go into the likes and you see who they are, and then you respond to them through comment with some thanks for liking my page or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that. If they comment, then obviously you reply to the comment in the comment section. Yeah.
Now you have a spot in that comment section. You can click on like and you can say like or love, or you chuckle at what they've said.
I know it's not a lesson on how to use Facebook. It's a lesson on how to post.
Well, I had to learn.
Assume everybody here knows the basics. Okay, so now let's get to what exactly is it that you posted? Is this 1, 2, 3, many? Like you're starting to get some traction.
I'm posting every day. Okay,
daily, at least
daily.
one.
Yes.
Okay, so give us an idea of what you're posting.
Well, a post I did last week was on the joint product. It was just a very short post. I found a picture online of an x-ray, and I put that with my post. Now, I only had maybe 5 reactions and 4 comments. So I didn't think it had engaged many people. It hadn't got much traction. But I got 4 private messages. I've got 1 confirmed customer who's already ordered the product. I've got 1 person that's definitely considering the business. I have 1 lady we haven't been able to hook up yet because of scheduling on both our parts. And I have a gentleman in the United Arab Emirates that missed the appointment and sent apologies and is rescheduling.
Okay.
That was out of a post that didn't appear to get any traction at all. Now, one I did yesterday was a live video.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to share your page so we can actually have a look at this.
Sure.
And then you can comment. All right, so screen share. There we go. All right, so we're on your page.
Yeah.
And
you need to go.
There's the one with the
There
bones.
it is. Yeah.
And wait, let's see what the comment is. Is there a comment? It's
No.
this. She wanted to play with her
You can read what I
grandchildren.
posted. You can read what I actually posted.
It says here, she wanted to play with her grandchildren. While speaking with a friend one day, she mentioned her joint challenges were really getting her down and she was frustrated. I don't have this visible. As a child, I offered to show her what I was using that made a huge difference in my mobility. And then there's more to that. She was, et cetera, et cetera. So we can find this. And so you posted a picture of, is that her knees?
No, that's just any x-ray I pulled off the internet.
Okay, and you got some comments under there.
4 comments,
Mm-hmm.
4 responses, and potentially 4 customers.
Okay, so is there a pattern to what you're doing? What about this live video here that you're doing?
Well, I'm just learning how to do live videos. And that particular one, if I remember, was on volunteering.
Okay, so this is your personal profile page.
Yeah.
What's this one here? Name 3 places you'd love to travel when this challenging time has a new normal.
Yeah, now that's just trying to engage people to connect. That's
Okay.
how you make connections with new friends.
Okay.
And how, you know, when you respond to them, they may already be friends, but
We got
sometimes
58 comments on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Barb? What was your favorite
That one
meal?
was a good one.
This one here's got 151 comments.
Yeah.
What was your favorite meal growing up, and do you continue to make it now? That's really interesting. So obviously a lot of these people are people we know, but you're saying you're also seeing people that you don't know?
I'd say 60% of the people that are responding, I don't know. Now, Suzanne,
yeah, you can see it right there. You can see it right there where we see, I just clicked on the messages all, and we see who's a friend and who's not. So there's a lot of add friend, which means they're not already on your friend list.
Exactly.
That's quite a few of them, actually.
So it's a good way to connect with new people.
That's excellent. Actually, that's really good.
I'm having fun with it now because it's starting to build a bit of confidence. You know, when I posted before, nothing was happening and I was getting really frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some days this is the one that I posted I think it was yesterday or.
Which sandwich team are you on?
Yeah. Look at the comments.
I don't even understand the question.
How do you cut your sandwich?
Oh, okay. And you got 119 comments.
Yeah.
That's
Michael, an engineer should have been able to see the 2 lines there.
Now you see,
Okay.
one lady said, "B both ways." And I had to think about it for a minute. Oh, she likes triangles. Her sandwich is cut in triangles. So I responded with that comment. And we had 3 or 4 interchanges because of that.
Wow, look at this. There's a lot of people here that you're not friends with. So you're reaching into an audience of people that you're not already friends with.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
And Barb Satterwhite is Miss Fun, so people are looking for fun. They don't want to hear about something right away. So Barb is fun.
Now, that one, okay, that one was one I did last night at 7 o'clock. And it was a live video, but with me behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
Okay.
And I just did a walk beside our Lions Park water feature that I was part of building. And then I came across the guy playing the guitar in the pavilion in the park. So I went up and recorded him for a bit and interviewed him and posted it.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's just, some of it's fun stuff that gets the interest, gets people, if they see posts of yours that they like, then they start watching for your posts and connecting.
And well, you're also going to come up on their feed
Yeah.
because you've made a comment about it.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. This is good stuff.
And
Any
then
questions?
I posted another one yesterday on how I dealt with Wayne's death. And it was a live post, and I didn't get emotional. I was really proud of myself. I didn't break down, but some things that I've learned in dealing with his passing. And I've had a number of people reach out to me thanking me for sharing it, for posting it. It's been shared. It's 260 views now, I think,
Wow.
or 200 and something. And I said right on it, if you think this would be beneficial for somebody going through the same or similar experience, feel free to make a comment or share. And they've been doing it.
What was your caption on that one?
Losing a loved one.
Oh, okay. Powerful. Very good and personal, obviously. And that's why it's probably reaching and connecting with a lot of people. So that's excellent. Really good use of the first 20 minutes of this call as some really good insights on how to leverage your own Facebook page. And I'm surprised. I did not know that posting personal and only to friends would garner traffic to an audience that you're not already connected to. So good information
But
there.
that traffic is more the kind of traffic you want to
Totally.
build a relationship with rather than the others.
Totally. I I can see the value of this, and I hope everybody takes it to heart and starts trying it yourself.
I have a
That's
question.
really cool. Yeah, go ahead, Bart.
Is it, I came on late, I apologize. Are you posting, Barbara? I know I see your posts. Are they on your business page or are they on your?
No, let me just
have-
recap. So she's posting on her personal page, not her business page, and she's not posting public. She's posting to friends only. And then it's a personal message or something of sort that that doesn't mention the product. If she's talking about the product, she doesn't specify the name of the product or the company, but some feature or benefit. So you can post features or benefits. You know, that's for instance, I did a video of my daughter Savannah making us breakfast, making us a shake with the Nikan shake. You guys have all seen it because Nikan, I sent it to Kurt and he sent it onto the social media team at Nikan, so they posted it. But what I would have done differently knowing this is I would not have posted it publicly. I would have posted it to friends because that may inspire a different response and a different, and I would have been more attentive to those non-friends who are not part of my network already of friends, and made sure that I would have been connecting with them. So really good information here. Any other
None of
questions?
my posts are salesy. None
Yeah.
of them.
Mary, go ahead.
Barb, I was watching your dog, walking your dog videos, the post. Did you get a lot of response on that one?
Tremendous amount of response. People love those posts.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, this is good news because then it's telling me that, you know, live your life and capture elements. By the way, that's the whole thing about what made Instagram was that you were capturing moments of your life. And anyway, so Good
I'm
stuff.
not on any other platform at all. I'm just focusing on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter.
Here's one for you. You can post a post or make a post to your story. Post it to your story. Many people, when you post on your story, you can see who's actually seen it. And your story gets a lot of traction. I'm more impressed with posting on stories. So for instance, here's my page. Okay, so let me, if you go to speaker view, you'll be able to see this up close. Go to speaker view, and then you can see my image on the screen here. Okay, so if I click on my face right up there, the little circle,
Yeah.
or I click right here where it says create a story, that'll allow me to create a story. And then I can do whatever. I can add a picture. I can create something here. There's my pictures there, right? So I can go by adding a picture or just doing something up here. When I post a story, then you can actually see who's seen your story. And every time I do that, I find that there's a huge number of people who see my story. But when I post a post on a regular page on my Facebook profile, I don't really see who's seen it. But I don't know unless they comment. So that's something else you can add to it, is posting on your story, and keep doing that. And they took, by the way, the reason why that's even existing is because Facebook bought Instagram, and Instagram is all about story. So you see people's story and they can add to it, by the way. So let's say you posted a story. You can add to your story. That's why it says plus. There's a plus sign beside it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can keep adding to your story. And so what'll happen is, like on the timeline, if you've ever been on Instagram, you'll see it'll go from one image to the next image, to the next image, to the next image, to the next image in somebody's story. They could have 10, 20 images, or 2 or 3. So you can keep the story going. That story could also be video clips and things like that. And Sophia's been doing that very successfully, using a lot of the stuff that the content we generated on this call, she actually posted on her Instagram in the stories. So
I can add something to the live videos. When you're doing live video, if your lighting is right, people that are viewing it right at the time, you can speak to them and say, "Hi, Mary, good to see you," and carry on with your live video. And people will send up hearts or like symbols and so forth. And you can see who's actually watching you at the moment. And it's a good idea, if you're going to do live videos, to do them at different times and different days, so that you can capture when is your audience, when are the people that are interacting with you most likely to be on Facebook, and do a live video then. Because live videos, your engagement on live videos is far greater than just a typed post, or even a typed post with a picture, or even posting a video that you have done, in your camera, and then you post it on Facebook. Lives are much more effective than a video that you've done.
say you started your live video with something like this. People would stop and start watching, or just your Facebook story or anything. It's just, people are interested in different. So this is all good. Yeah, Mary, you got another question?
Just to add to what Barb was saying, my partner, Umarat Hassan, and I have been posting on Thursdays. We call them Active Wellness Thursdays. And she's from Fiji, East Indian Fiji. And so now she's got a following of community from New Zealand, Australia, Fiji Islands. And so what you're saying, Barb, is Umarat always acknowledges whoever is watching us live. So we've been on White Rock Beach. We've been doing things on grounding and those kinds of postings. So she's interviewing me when we do it, and we do it every Thursday.
Well, I'm posting a live every Wednesday at 2 o'clock as things, that's the way I've set it up on my schedule now. And yesterday when I did my post on losing a loved one, the last few lives that I've done face on the camera, I've said to the first couple, it didn't appear that the video and my lips were syncing, the video and the audio. And I was frustrated with it. So the one I did yesterday, I did on my iPhone, and the video and the audio were synced. So
It's
I
usually
think it's
best to use
because
your-
my laptop is
Yeah.
older too. So I'll continue to do any lives on the iPhone here on in. But I said to people right at the beginning, please indicate if the audio is okay and if the video is okay. I've had some technical glitches as I'm learning this new process to do live videos. And when you're authentic, if you make a mistake, people like it. People tend to respond more if you stumble than if you don't. You don't have to be perfect. And everybody wants to be perfect, and you don't have to be.
You know, thanks for that, Barb. There's a chap that I watch almost daily, and I say almost daily because it's almost daily, on Instagram, and he's also posting, I believe, on Facebook. But I just watch the Instagram feed because I made a point of, I don't know, we call it liking him, following him. It's Sir Patrick Stewart. He's the one who played Captain Picard in the Star Trek series Next Generation. And in this time, since he's not actually able to act, he discovered something, or he started doing something, and he's doing it every day. He got Shakespeare's sonnets, and he's been publishing every single day one of these Shakespeare's sonnets in a row, like started with number 1, and now he's on like 117 or something like that. And of course, it's Sir Patrick Stewart with that beautiful English voice of his doing, and just a very short thing. He's always wearing something different. He's always sitting somewhere different. It's just an interesting thing. And it's a minute and a half or 2 minutes of entertainment from one of the finest actors in the world with his own unique sometimes. And by the way, what brought that up was the mistakes. So it's not easy reading Shakespeare. And I mean, he's a thespian, so he's very particular about how he performs, but he's gotten lighter in process because they've not been flawless, and he's allowed it to be that way. And he will say, maybe I should start over again. He'll start, and it's been so enjoyable to see him do that. So yeah, I agree with you. Natural is best.
He's authentic.
Very, very cool. So if you could find something that you enjoy, that you want to share with the world on a daily basis, on a regular basis, why? Because it's not really about entertaining the world. If we're doing this for the sake of connections, making more new connections, then what you have is an ongoing access to people who are connecting with you, and you can build that rapport, that list. I'll tell you why I even started with this theory, this conversation tonight. One, because Barb did mention last week that she was having some success with this, and I thought that would be appropriate to talk about in lieu of the event that we just had, this last Saturday's Zoom-in event, which was a fantastic event, great presentations, great stories. And I was so compelled, as I said, even in the live presentation, I was so compelled that I actually texted one of my contacts in the middle of it to say, look, in light of what I'm hearing on the doctor's panel and this overwhelming emphasis on hydration, I really want to encourage you to use the Nican waterfall. Anyway, so the point being, number one, it was a great presentation. We did not record it. We made an executive decision that we weren't going to record these presentations because the point of it is live, to build the community. And we need an event that that is a bigger event that attracts people to that event. And if you know it's not recorded and you know there's a chance you might miss something, there's a better chance you're not going to miss it. You'll carve that time out. And that's what we're trying to establish, is a rhythm. And there's a bigger story to this. There's a bigger picture as it's unfolding, as a group of us are working with Luis Kasuga directly in starting to unfold this rhythm. And there's going to be an event next month that will really shed some light on that. In any event, we had 136 people at our peak on this Nikken Zoom in, which is still really, really great attendance. But as you know, most of those people, a lot of those people are Nikken consultants just plugging in. So it's a community event because the community is plugging in. But the way the event is designed, the content for the event is primarily a lock-in. Just so I'm clear about what I mean by that, it's if you've already been introduced to Nikken, if you're in Nikken, then sometimes you might hear something in an event like this that causes you to transition from being somebody who's maybe just dipping your toe in the water to somebody who dives in. And so it's an important event to have, because we want people taking a bigger risk, taking a deeper plunge into the Nikken world as we start to build the rhythm of Nikken, and we start to encourage a behavior that has people getting more active, being more involved. This is an event, a community event that is trying to inspire greater participation in terms of activity in Nikken. That's one. Two, it's designed also to be an overview. That's why part of it includes the overview, which they may have already seen, but it's also therefore an opportunity for new people. So you're getting two bangs for your buck. New people, and with enough stories, enough information, you're getting validation for the lock-in. So keep that in mind. That's why it is what it is. It's not going to be shorter. We don't want it to be shorter. And I don't mind people dropping off. That's not our concern. The people who are dropping off have heard as much as they want to hear. The people who are staying on want to hear more. And so we don't cater to the people who aren't looking to get more interested. We're catering to the people who are more interested. So be clear about that. We know who our target audience is, and we're not going to shift our focus away from that. Okay, so it's a lock-in event. It's an overview. It's live, so it demands personal attention. And that way, there's going to be better promotion of it. You'll find yourself knowing now that if you hear this is what's going to be on the call, we might even, give you some insights as to who might be on the call. I'm not sure yet, but the point is, if you know it's live, you know it's not recorded, then the impetus is to be on the call, not to miss it. And if you have to miss it, you miss it. That's just the way it is. That's life. But when we had an event in Salt Lake City, or we had an event in Toronto, or we had an event in California, or wherever the event took place, did everybody come? No. Those who did, and those who didn't. So let's keep that in mind. And we want to up the numbers of people, guests. So if you know that the call is what it is, and it's a high quality call, then there should be an emphasis on bringing new people. So learning how to attract new people, utilizing Facebook posts, personal posts, and so forth is, by the way, you can use the thing to lift up your hand. That way you don't have to do that. You can just use your, lift your hand up.
Raise hand.
Raise hand thing. So yeah, we want to attract a larger audience. The number 136 is, in my opinion, a very modest, very, very modest live event. And our first event, the first time we did this, we had over 300 people. How is it that we went from 300 people, the first event, over 300, to around 130 every event thereafter? How come? What happened to the other 200 plus people? Where'd they go? So That's the question. Why aren't there more people attending? And the answer I find is always the same, because there's not as many people in the pipeline as we'd like. So how do we increase the number of people in the pipeline? Exposure. How do we increase exposure? Every way we can. And learning how to use posts is a great way. Yeah, Barb, you had a comment?
Being as Saturday wasn't recorded and I was at HBM, the lady couldn't make, the one that's considering becoming a consultant couldn't be on the Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
So she asked me for the replay. I sent her the one from July with Stan Bogus on it.
Yes.
Well, did that ever hit her between the eyeballs? The emotion.
Yep.
So she is seriously looking at it now. And she really felt for him.
You know what? That's a really great point, because if it's just about if it's designed that well that you can go back to one, and let's say that's the one, let's say that's the only one, you only needed one that's recorded, because at the end of the day, what difference does it make what the date is? You know what I'm saying? The content is what's important. And so you can always leverage that if you needed to, knowing that this month is going to be another one and it's going to be live. So that's probably the way to utilize the previous recordings is pick your favorite. I think there might be 3 in the line. Pick your favorite, use that one. If you need to send one, say, oh, I'm sorry you missed this one. We do have one in the archives. Let me send you that. And so that could be our solution altogether.
Well, and could I make a point, Mike, about the recording? Because I think the recordings are important. That's just me. But like, for instance, other people weren't interested in the health panel. However, there were a couple of people that wanted to be on the health panel and specifically asked, wanted to hear, because one was the PT. In other words, they're the professionals. And so I told them that it was going to be recorded. So they said, well, give me the recording. So, I didn't know that at that particular time. I understand what's going live also, but there's also a caption that a benefit to, like Barb was saying, with the recording too, sometimes.
We had this debate. We always have this debate. And when a decision's made, we always have more debate. The decision's been made. And so at this point in time, we're not going to go back on that decision. Yes, there's always an advantage to a recording in hindsight. We're not asking anybody to concern themselves with hindsight. This is about populating that event, every live event. And that's what's important, because we did the recordings and it did not increase the numbers of the next one. So that is not showing me that the recording is of value. Yes, Barb.
May I ask who was on the medical panel? And
Sure. We had Dr. John. We had Dr. Karen. I'm not sure her last name.
Willens.
Okay. We had Barb Satterwhite, and we had another Karen. I think it was Messersmith.
PT.
Okay. That's what, and it was facilitated by Dr. Gary.
Thank you.
And by the way, what was really cool about that is that the question that Dr. Gary asked them, he asked them 3 specific questions and asked them to answer these questions. And one of the questions was, if you had a favorite product, if you were going to recommend a product, if there was a favorite, which would it be? And they all, for the most part, with the exception of Dr. John, who first pegged the sleep system and then water, everyone talked about water. That hydration is at the root of health, and how much everybody emphasized the water system in this call. I'm sure we sold a lot of waterfalls as a result of that. In fact, I have a new recruit as a result of it. So yeah, I think it was a very successful call for what it did.
I
And
think
I
it
think
would
we
have
need
been
to do
nice to
more
have
of it.
known the decision before, because the first 3 were recorded.
Mhm.
So I guess maybe the assumption was that it would be recorded again.
Well, I assumed it was, but
So
Okay,
now
well-
we know what the rules are. Now we know the rules. So,
Right. So again, it's a question of, would it be nice to have a recording to watch? I think there's so many recordings already, and there's so many live events. The question is value and how to increase the value. So of that specific event, we're taking the time to put the event on. We want people to take the time to be at the event and participate in it. And by the way, part of the participation is the Q&A, the opportunity for people to ask questions, and you know, to tell us where you're coming in from. And it's a live event. It'll get better, and it might actually expand to include something else, another component to it, so that it is more like a live event. There are live events right now that are days long. There are live events that are many hours long, and then there are live events that are much shorter. We
Like
have
that, Mike, and I think even breakout rooms. I've been on some other events
Right.
where there are breakout rooms. And so that being said, and we're all missing live events because
Yeah.
we all know one another because of those that's community.
That's exactly right, Madeline.
So given that, what I put in the launch partners chat, I think, is I don't think Humans Being More should be scheduled.
It was a mistake.
Moving towards the
Madeline, it was a mistake. It was made twice, the same mistake, unfortunately. But the first time they were able to reschedule. The second time, I don't know. But it won't be
okay, good.
be made again.
And then the other one is Dave and all these morning calls too, because, you know, there are new people there. I mean, it's a lot on a Saturday. So I think the live event and the rhythm of the business, that needs to be, as you stated so clearly here with all the objectives, for other field leaders to understand that too. And that becomes a priority for that one Saturday a month.
I totally agree. I think that needs to be the emphasis. And there's always a challenge with trying to get people on the rhythm, because everybody has their own agenda, and my agenda is NECAN. It's not Mike's agenda. It's the agenda that best serves NECAN.
Well, I agree.
And that is building the community, and therefore there needs to be a place where the community gathers with some regularity. And that's why I said there might be a component that we add where there's a bit more of the interaction involved.
Before you came on, Barb Richmond was in the HBM, and she said how exciting it was because they had 13 groups of 2 people and they did all that interaction. And so that is critical, just like what you did tonight in the screen sharing with Barb, rather than just having it being that live interaction. So thank you.
I couldn't figure out how Jeff was going to do it and why we all had to partner up. And how do we partner up when we're doing an online live presentation? But it was fascinating. It was fabulous. And I mean,
how did he do it?
We had to connect with a partner ahead of time if possible. If not,
Okay.
they matched somebody up. You went online a half an hour before we were due to start, and they found you a partner. We used our phones, and we could decide if we were going to use WhatsApp, FaceTime, or Skype, or whatever. And
so separate from the Zoom platform, you were using your phone.
Yeah. So then Jeff would say, okay, now you've got 3 minutes, a minute and a half each to brainstorm this topic. You know, each take a minute and a half, and then we'll come back in. And the Zoom remained on the screen. Everybody was just muted. And you could see some of them, you know, talking on their phones. And we used WhatsApp video, and it worked seamlessly.
Cool.
It was terrific.
Well, I'm happy about that, because we want Humans Being More to be part of the rhythm. So then the question becomes, how does Humans Being More best fit the rhythm of the community?
Well, there's one more with that curriculum of Saturday, and then September, the curriculum changes.
That's fine. Whatever it's going to be, it's a question of its place in the rhythm. You know, ordinarily it was local. Humans Being More was a local event, as were most events. However, with the internet and Zoom, it takes the necessity of it being local makes almost no sense at all, with the exception of time zones. And if you can frame it so that you're, you know, plus or minus 3 hours, you should be able to manage. Anyway, so
Right.
that's really all I wanted to get into on this call tonight, and we're up at 46 minutes now. So again, just to recap, so we had a great event. It could have been better if there was better attended, meaning each person takes responsibility for having guests. Did anyone here have guests on the?
Mike, this is Barb Satterwhite.
Yes.
I had one guest, but wanted to come on because
I'm sorry, Barb, we lost you for a second. You had one guest?
one guest came on, but the one that I really wanted on is somebody I've been working it was ready for the lock-in. I mean, he was ready, and it was his one day off, and he wanted to get on it. I texted him when it was going because I didn't see him, and he said, "Oh, I'm in heavy traffic. There's no way I can get on. Can you send me the recording?" So, but I have a couple comments about the whole thing. My stepdaughter, who was huge in pharmaceutical sales and was the top of her company and laterally for years, and anyway, took her to dinner that night, and she was on it. Well, this is interesting. She thought the objective was to sell waterfalls. And because she's such a salesy person, and she says, but if you were going to do that, you really needed to do this. And I said, stop. First of all, that wasn't the objective.
It's a side effect.
Got a text.
You're cutting out. So
I'm sorry,
continue.
But she texted today apologizing because she really didn't. But she went off on a tangent about what should have been done, because if we were trying to push waterfalls, we did. But anyway, that was interesting. But I wanted to go back to real quickly, Barb Richmond, what you've done. Interesting. I post every day on personal things, but what I haven't been doing is replying to everybody. Me. I mean, I'll have 100 and some people like something. So I know what I need to do now, but I just congratulate you. You've just done a wonderful job, and you are fun. And the other thing is, last Wednesday, Jeff had Bernice from corporate on, and she walked us through how to do a live video on your phone. So it's recorded. Ask Jeff for it if you don't have it, but it was really very good because some of us had an iPhone, the others had Androids, and so there were a couple questions we had, but she made some good pointers.
Is
She
it
also
recorded?
was
Is it
posting-
available on the NECAN headquarters?
Not on headquarters, but we can send it to you on Jeff's mailing list. Now, Bernice is a good one to add to your Zoom in with more people.
Well, okay, that would be fine. I'm just thinking, though, there's somebody at NECAN's dropped the ball if they're doing a recording and sharing it privately instead of publicly through the channels. So they need to pick a
If I can
channel.
add something to that, Bernice pushes your business page.
Yes.
Everything she talked about was posting on your business page.
Mhm.
She said, and she talked about boosting your post and paying for your ads.
Right,
And using all the graphics from NECAN.
right.
But until you have a substantial number of people as friends, in fact, the best way to get Facebook to actually push your posts out is when you have 5,000 friends. As soon as you have 5,000 friends on your personal profile, you can't accept any more friends. You can only accept followers. Once you get into the followers category, then Facebook will push your posts out. But until you get to that 5,000, you can't expect optimum exposure. At 2,000, you start to get a little more exposure on your business page. If you stick to your profile page, you get far more exposure and engagement, and that's what you're wanting in building the business. Once you get your business built and you've got those contacts and you're getting customers and you're getting people asking about your business, well, then you can afford to be paying for the ads that Facebook wants you to buy.
Yeah,
But Barbara, you're doing it right, and at least this is my perspective. See, you're creating relationships and you're getting sales out of it, and eventually you'll have whatever. So,
and I've made some wonderful new friends.
Well, okay, so I think that's the way to go too, personally. I have done a lot of trial and error on posting and paying for ads using graphics, images, and stuff like that. I have not had traction, with the exception of the launch in Chile. Otherwise, very little traction on product posts at this point. I think we covered that in a couple of calls ago. I shared with you the page, my landing page for the product and so forth. So I'm not ready to teach you anything about that because I haven't hit the home run yet.
I don't
haven't-
need a landing page for what I'm doing.
There you go. Exactly. Well, that's exactly. It's a different strategy what you're doing. What you're doing is personal contact. I'm talking about what Brianna's recommending and what I see in Latin America when people are posting on their Instagram. A lot of the stuff that is posted are graphics of the products, discounts. It's like they're talking to an already existing audience. Because personally, if you were not an existing audience and you didn't know about Nikken, very unlikely you would respond to any one of those posts. So I'm with you, Barb. I'm of the opinion that building our network is our first priority, and not posting commercials to that network. It's better to build relationships. Anyways,
Super.
Leo, you had two guests on the call, right?
Yes,
And you were a speaker on the call. How did it go? How did it work out for you?
I'm so nervous, but it's okay. I read it. Sure to say no bad words. You remember?
Are your guests impressed? Did they join? What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They very like it. One guest, you have a girlfriend from Malaysia. She was in Malaysia. Midnight for her.
Oh wow! Oh cool. So you had somebody on the other side of the world listening.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I promote with the agenda. I received the agenda for this weekend.
Yes.
That's what I promote to my Facebook with the agenda. I like it because we see the doctor, we see who's speaking, we see,
Oh wait, which agenda are you referring to?
the one I received from Gary.
Oh, you posted the agenda.
Yeah, I just take off some.
Okay, so that was a pretty good thing. So as a speaker, he received the agenda, so we knew who was talking and when.
Kim was there because the agenda.
Interesting. Okay, so you think that then posting the agenda
Yeah.
might be something to do? Well,
Yeah.
where the consultants are concerned, that way they will make the effort.
Yeah.
Well, that puts the pressure on the hosts to entertain you with new stories and new guests. That could be a mistake though, because remember, a new contact doesn't know who's new and not new or who was on last week or last month. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword for us, because if we're trying to keep you coming back because there's always somebody new, then we have to come up with somebody new. And we do anyway, by the way, we have been. So yeah, there are some repeat performers, but there's always somebody new. So we'll definitely be doing that next month. So again, the next one will be the third Saturday of September. Make a note. Realize that that's there to help lock in the people who you have that are maybe familiar with Nikken to some degree or involved with Nikken. And yes, it's always available, as should all events be open to new prospects. So thank you for joining. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks, Barb, for your contribution tonight and giving us
You're
some insights
welcome.
on what's working. That's what we want to do. We want to learn what's working. That's how we align with success. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks,
you, Barb.
Mike.
Thank you, Barb.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.